This
kind of ask.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So just to give you brief overview, guys, what all things we are going to discuss today. Just since it's an just a demo session, right? So we will be talking about what is Cypress, what are the key features what Cypress is supporting, okay? And other than that, we'll speak about few more, let's say, what are the things which we are going to cover in our this particular end-to-end sessions, like what would be the durations of session and how much, like whether it will be an API, UI, all those pointers we are going to cover, guys, okay? So just to give you overview, guys, uh, my name is Vikas. I am into QA automation almost like it's been 12 years into QA automations. I have been using both the front end as well as back end, you can say automation testing. I have been working with Selenium, Cypress, Playwright. These are the key automation tools which I am using frequently with respect to the automation for both API as well as the UI. Other than that, for performance testing, I have the knowledge on Jmeter, Gatling for, you can say, API as well as UI performance testing. And other than that, obviously, all the, you can say, key features which are required from the automation point of view, we are going to touch base along with Cypress. Okay. I would request everyone to if you got any queries, any questions in between while the session is going on. If you have anything to let's say ask, please interrupt me in between and feel free to ask your doubts, queries, questions, whatever doubts you have, guys. Okay. I would like to get the queries, I would make this as a two-way communications basically, so that you can kind of ask your doubts. If you are not comfortable in asking your doubts or queries, I would love to get the queries in the chat box. If possible, please share your queries, questions in the chat box. So just to give you overview, guys, I hope everyone are aware about the automation testing. Okay, just to just to give you brief overview about automation testing. What is automation
Hi,
testing?
Vikas. Sorry to interrupt. Can you please speak loudly?
Is it not audible?
It's
Uh,
audible, but sometimes while speaking, your wording is not hearing properly.
okay, no problem, no problem. Uh,
Thank you.
let me speak a little bit loud. So, guys, just to give you overview, as you are aware, right, for any of the automation testing, if you want to kind of go ahead with any of the automation tool, so everyone are aware that the prerequisite or whatever is required, right? The prerequisite is you should have a very, you can say, good exposure and knowledge on the manual testing, guys. Okay. So, yeah, I will cover some sessions on manual testing, like at high level, just to make sure that everybody are on let's say align on the same this thing. So I'll cover few sessions on manual testing. What is manual testing, what are the different models, what are different, you can say, testing design techniques we have, how, what are different agile methodologies, v models, waterfall models. So at high level we are going to discuss about the manual testing. Okay. And what are the various deliverables which we have in terms of, let's say, test plan, test scenarios, test cases, requirement traceability matrix. So those at high level we will be trying to cover, so that because this is a prerequisite which will be required whenever someone is, let's say, starting with the automation testing, guys. Okay. Other than that, for automation testing, we will obviously start with, because as you are aware, right, Cypress is purely based on only two programming language, guys. Please keep that in mind. The programming language what Cypress is supporting is JavaScript and TypeScript. JavaScript and TypeScript. So our focus will be on JavaScript. We will be purely taking our this thing, all the content and everything will be on JavaScript. We will be focusing on one programming language. Our focus will be on JavaScript, guys. Okay. Next is if you are talking about the prerequisites which is required for the installations or any of the setup, Cypress does not require any installation, guys. It's very straightforward. I'll like within a few minutes you will be able to install Cypress and start using the Cypress, guys. Okay. The only thing which Cypress is doing right now is like every 2 weeks or let's say 1.5 weeks there is a new version which is coming out in the market with respect to Cypress. I'm saying, okay. So the current version which we are having is like you can consider 13 like 13 plus. Okay, so the current versions of Cypress which is kind of supported or which is like right now available, it is 13 plus, guys. Okay. Now let me kind of give little bit idea on the prerequisite what Cypress is having like prerequest. The first thing it requires, guys, node module. Okay, when I say node module, basically you can consider like npm. Okay, that is nothing but node package manager. So node package manager, that is a prerequisite, guys, which we will do it. Okay. Second thing which we will require is like one of the editor. Okay. So mostly the editor which we are going to use will be like Visual Studio Code. This is the common editor which like Cypress is having good you can say UI UX logic. So it is having the plugin support and everything. So that's the reason we will be using Visual Studio Code along with you can say Cypress. Okay, these are the two things which is required, guys. These are the only two things which are required when we are, let's say, working with Cypress. Okay, now things which we will be covering. Okay, so we will be covering like complete UI automation end-to-end framework, complete UI automation end-to-end framework, complete API automation end-to-end framework. Okay, obviously, guys, before that we will touch base all the topics which are required from the UI side, which are required from the API side. Okay, so don't worry on that part. I'll be talking about that as well soon. Okay, but just at high level I am trying to give the overview what all things we will be kind of covering in this the whole you can say course, guys. Okay, after that we are having something with respect to CI/CD pipeline, guys. Okay, which is obviously supported with the help of Cypress Cloud.
Excuse me. Yeah, sorry. Actually, Bhimchand this side.
Go ahead.
Actually, I have joined other link actually. I was waiting from last 10 minutes. Just now I
Oh,
got this link and I joined now. So I missed 10 minutes. Can you just in 2 3 minutes can you explain about what you told?
yeah, no problem. Let me.
There are few more people they are joining in the other link actually.
I'm not sure because this is the link which most of the people are having. Okay, no worries. That's okay. Let me kind of put
Yes.
that message over group. Just one more second, guys. Okay. Uh, sorry for same. So guys, I just have like done a quick introduction to Cypress, what all things we are kind of covering in this particular course. Why we are kind of focusing on Cypress. I am going to touch base those topics as well. So as I mentioned, Cypress is having obviously one limitation that it supports only two programming language, that is JS and TS, JavaScript and TypeScript. Our focus in this particular training will be purely on JavaScript, guys. The current version of Cypress is like you can consider 13 plus. Okay, because as I mentioned, every 1 week or let's say 2 weeks there will be new changes, new change requests which happens over the Cypress, guys. What are the prerequisites which are required for Cypress installation? The only thing which is required, guys, two things. One is Node module. You can consider like download Node. Okay, and second thing which is required is, guys, Visual Studio Code. This is the editor which we will be using for our complete end-to-end practice. Okay. Other than that, guys, we will be purely focusing on two high level distinct scenarios. One is the UI end-to-end automation framework, and second is the API automation framework. Okay, obviously most of the people like obviously has only two things, like either you they will be working on UI, either they will be working on API, or third scenario, let's say we are working in both UI and API. Okay, so we are going to cover the complete framework, automation framework for both the, you can say, scenarios, both the API as well as UI. Other than that, I was talking about CI/CD pipeline, guys. So previously, it used to be called as Cypress dashboard, guys. Previously it was called as Cypress dashboard. Okay. Previously it was called as Cypress dashboard. Okay. Recently, the name has been updated to Cypress Cloud. Okay. So what is Cypress dashboard and everything we will discuss later in the session. Okay, so we are going to touch base on this Cypress Cloud. Obviously, for the source code management, we will be kind of using Git, basically. What are the Git lifecycle? What are the different command which is required whenever we are working along with the team on the Git repository? So obviously, we will have the knowledge on Git, but as you know, Cypress is having the support for all the other tools such as Circle CI. It is having the support for Bitbucket. I mean, all the like source code management tool, whatever are there, right? Cypress is having the support for all the CIC source code management tools, guys. Okay, but our focus will be purely on Git, because as you are aware, like all the tools are using the same commands which Git is providing actually internally. Okay, so that's the reason we will use the Git in both mode, that is CI, command line mode, as well as the UI mode. Okay. So just to give you quick overview about the content, guys, let me show you the website so that it is very clear to you all. So this is the, I hope you guys went through the website of the URL. In this, what all things we will be covering, guys. Okay. So if you go through the content, guys, the first thing is like core syllabus, which is like introduction to JS, JavaScript, because as I mentioned, we will be purely focusing on JS, guys. Okay. And just to give you quick overview, TS and JS are not having major difference, guys. So don't get confused. Let's say if I'm not covering TS, you will not be able to kind of catch up. If you have good knowledge on JS, hardly it will take one or two sessions. You will be able to kind of focus on TS as well. So don't you can obviously get the complete overview on TS as well. So don't get confused, like if JS and TS both are different programming language. At high level the answer is yes, but at the syntax level and everything, like if you consider the framework, the layout, the structure, the folder structure, everything will remain same, guys. Okay. So in this case, in this module one, we will be completely focusing on, you can consider like what is JS, what are the different ways, like usually what all things, what is array method, linked list, hash, whatever is available in the JavaScript, we will try to make sure that all the concepts are cleared in the JS section, guys. Okay. So what is where, what is let, what is constant keyword, JS function, for loop, if else. Okay. So all this concept, which is obviously other than Cypress, right? It is just the introduction to JavaScript. Okay. So this will be the module one, which we will be covering in our you can say complete course, guys. Okay, after that we will start with the actual Cypress this thing. So wherein we will obviously install the Cypress, what is the architecture, what are the benefits compared to other automation tools such as let's say Selenium, as because you know, right, the complete market capture right now for Selenium is almost like 50%, and 50% is like other tools, guys. Okay, so those other tools include Cypress, which is obviously very popular, which is getting a lot of popularity right now, along with Playwright. Okay, so we will be kind of working on what is Cypress, what are the Cypress architecture, how the Cypress architecture is different from actual Selenium architecture. So all these discussions we will do in our module 2. Module 3 is purely for like how to set up Cypress for our like Windows and Mac, how to use. We will do some basic test, like few of the test using JavaScript. So we will run some of the, you can say, few files. So we will create few test cases by just creating or installing Cypress in Windows or Mac. Okay. Other than that, we will jump to module 4, which is like we will cover the JS function, how to use if else along with, let's say, Cypress, what are the object oriented concept in JavaScript, and how is the usage of those functions or method in our Cypress, guys. Okay, so module 4 is talking about, let's say, how we have learned the basics of JS, how we can integrate those concept into our Cypress concept, guys. Okay, then we will focus on test runner, what are the various command, what are the various browsers supported. Then we will start with our actual activities of identifying the web element, playing with drop downs, radio buttons, check boxes, web element, all the activities which we have in our actual automations. Like basically, you can consider like locators, right? So all this support, like whatever is required from the Cypress point of view, we will discuss in detail about this. So you can consider we will have a lot of, you can say, programming examples around this, guys, to make sure that this concept is very like clear to you. What is the page object model which we are following, how the page object model works with Cypress, how to create class, how to use those class into our, let's say, test cases, how to handle windows alerts, pop-ups, JS, you can say, modules, mouse related events, keyboard related events, how to upload, download the files, how to create custom command in Cypress, guys. Okay. And what is the importance of fixture folder? So there is one folder in Cypress, guys, fixture folder, and how we can perform the data driven testing using CSV, JSON, Excel. Okay. So you can consider module 6 is very, very important from the Cypress, you can say, basic, you can say, when it comes to, let's say, creating the framework from scratch, guys. Okay, then module 7 will be completely like about the API testing, how we kind of create the API framework, what all things, as you guys are aware about the Postman tool, which is a manual testing, manual API testing tool, all the complete end-to-end flow for get, post, put, patch, delete APIs. We will try to consider all those API, and how we have something called as authorization, authentication, bearer token, all those things, whatever is required from the API point of view. We will discuss those in details, guys. Okay, for all the like obviously respective environment. After that, we will talk about the Cucumber, guys, which is kind of BDD framework. So I hope everyone has some basic idea about what is Cucumber, what is BDD. So how we can convert our framework, which is obviously designed in VS Code, to the Cucumber level of framework. Okay. So how Cypress is having the support for those Cucumber sections, what is feature file, step definition file, how we run the test cases using Cucumber, right? So all this sections like this will be completely like you are creating a new framework, which will be kind of having the Cucumber level of, you can say, folder structure, guys. Okay, after that we are having inbuilt support for Cypress report, that is HTML JSON report, and you can have a lot of other reports such as Mocha Epsom report, which is a plugin which is available, And obviously there are several other reports which you can integrate, which you can download from their official website, guys. And how we can kind of create end-to-end framework Cypress from scratch, pushing to GitHub, and obviously running the CI/CD pipeline, guys. Okay, and if time permits, how we can create the Docker images and how we can push our code to respective Docker file and how to run our test case through Dockerizations, guys. Okay, and when I talk about all these modules, guys, there are a lot of internal like concept, right, which right now I might not be able to kind of show you right away in one session. But yes, there are a lot of you can say topics which needs to be kind of discussed and cover. So at high level I have just created one small presentation which will be kind of talking about what all things like we are having into this thing Cypress, guys. Okay, so just to give you quick overview, guys, whatever I spoke right just now, same thing, but the only thing is like you can just have a high level overview, like all these sections which I have written. So these are the major topics when it comes to Cypress. Like this comprise almost like 70 to 80% of Cypress, guys. Okay, so these are all topics which are very very important when it comes to like framework design, like end to end framework design. So now just to give you overview and like get started, before getting started, guys, I want if anybody has any queries, questions, doubts, guys, you can like unmute and speak up. Meanwhile, anybody has any
Hi.
let's say, go ahead
Just
please.
one thing. May I know your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Vikas, guys.
Okay, Vikas. Yeah, Vikas, just I want to know one thing. What the this duration of this course? Like 30 days, 45 days? What's the duration? Just
Yeah.
I'm confused.
So the duration, what I have, ideal duration, what I usually do is like around maximum 28 to 30 hours. You can consider like 1.5 month.
Okay.
If there are no holidays, so it will be kind of 6 weeks, obviously
So
covering
Monday, okay, 6 weeks. So Monday to Friday daily you're taking 1 hour, right?
daily 1 hour. So I'm considering almost like 1.5 month. If everything
Okay.
went well, there is no holidays or anything. Otherwise, including the doubt solving sessions and everything, I usually consider like 7 weeks, which includes the doubt solving sessions, or let's say real time support which required into your own project. If that is also the case, usually like I get the let's say screen sharing, and they try to make sure that they are doing the right activity for their current project, or let's say the framework what they are using. So you can say initial setup, basically whatever is required by any of you. So those,
And
yeah.
it's the timing. It's 9 to 10 p.m. right? Daily.
ist 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. ist. Perfect.
Yeah. And one more thing. Vikas, right?
Yes, yes, go ahead please. Vikas, correct.
Yeah, because and one more thing, like after suppose Monday onward it will going to start, right? 9 p.m. to
Perfect.
10 p.m. So
Perfect.
after finishing the class, we'll get the video, or it will take time like tomorrow I will get the video like that.
Yeah.
Let's say.
So like
What's the
right now I'm having the session right now. Yes, this session
yes?
will be also kind of recorded. Okay. And this
Hmm.
session you will get the link by tomorrow 11 to 12 a.m. IST morning. Next day morning IST. Okay. It
Okay,
will not be
so
immediate.
next day morning we will get the video.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
and one more thing, just one request actually, because if you cover the Jira and integration and Docker, is it okay?
Yeah, so basically, Cypress is having the support for Microsoft Team. You can say notification, Slack notification, and if you consider, let's say, manual, you can say Kanban board or the Scrum board, right? That's what you are mentioning.
Mhm.
Using Jira and Confluence, even the
Yes, yes.
Bitbucket, which is part of, you can say, Atlassian. But
Mhm.
from the manual testing point of view, we'll be talking about what is story point, what are the various bugs, story tasks, what are the various things which we create whenever we are working on QA automation tickets. So I'll talk about that. Not yeah, I'll will create
So
some dummy account and obviously share those details.
so we'll explain those things, Jira integration and Docker Python also, right?
Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah, because actually just one thing, because see, I think many people here experienced person also there. I have around 11 year experience in QA side,
Mhm. Right,
and
right, right.
I have worked on automation Selenium, but not much other tool
Mhm.
API testing thing. But I want to switch in Cypress actually now. So
Mhm.
that's why actually, like as a experience, I have given few interview also. So they are asking these things like how to integrate the SAP Jira integration, Docker part, how to configure with Outlook. Those things they are asking actually.
Perfect, perfect.
So,
Understood. Because Cypress is having good support with all the third-party tool as well as API. So
mhm.
that's the reason Cypress every 2 weeks or let's say 1.5 weeks there is a new update which is obviously coming for that particular version, guys. Okay, that's the major reason.
And because last one thing,
Yeah, no problem. Go
actually,
ahead.
is it possible like this course it will be 1.5 month maximum we can say, right? Like
Right,
45 days
right.
or what 1.5 month. So if is it possible like after 1.5 month we can show in our resume like 3 years or 4 years experience in Cyprus?
Yeah, see, that is completely your call because if let's say you have, let's say, previous automation, I would say project, right? Instead of showing Selenium over there, for API, you can consider, let's say, I'm using Cypress,
Mm.
okay,
Yes,
and
yes.
for UI, let's say I'm using Selenium. That is also
Mm.
possible, guys. Okay, that's again your call. You can show those experience and exposure into your resume. That's perfectly fine. You will be able to answer those type of questions like into your interviews also, even if you are showing up 4 to 5 years of exposure or experience.
Yes. Thank you, Vikas.
Yeah,
Uh, I have a question.
go
Will the
ahead please.
class timing will be just 1 hour or it's going to take little more than that?
1 hour 15 minutes, I would say maximum.
Okay.
The
Because
reason, yeah,
for
the
Indian
reason,
time, for
sorry.
US, like people who are working already, it's going to be little. That's the reason. For that 1 hour, we have to, like a lunchtime, we have to use it. That's the reason.
So see, ideally, my this thing is like I start my class mostly by 9:05. I end by let's say 10 maximum, and I usually request everyone to kind of show your queries, doubts, questions, whatever you have practiced over the day or something. So that will take time. If you are not having doubts, queries, questions, obviously you are like you can leave the class, or let's say if you want to stay in the class, that's fine, perfectly fine, because even though whatever doubt solving those are those which we are doing, those sessions, those activities are also getting recorded, so that
Okay.
you can refer next day.
Okay. And what about like without JavaScript background? Will it be okay to start with this and then?
See, JavaScript, I as far as see, it's not that I would say, because Cypress is playing all the logics and everything through its commands, guys. Okay, so
Mhm.
Cypress is having very good documentations, which I will be showing right now after this, like wherein everything is documented with respect to commands, guys. Okay, so you don't need to kind of, let's say, if I'm not knowing the syntax of this, what will happen, all those things, nothing is required, right? So what you can do, or usually whenever I'm all I even today, if I do get some new this thing, let's say new scenarios or something, right? I usually refer their official documentation, so that is the best source right now which is available, which is not available for other automation tool. So what I usually recommend is, please try to kind of go through their documentations again and again, and
Mhm.
you will not feel that I need to have, let's say, JavaScript understanding at high level. Even if it is, let's say, 3 out of 5 or 2.5 out of 5
Mhm.
for JS, it will work, guys. So don't
Okay.
get, you can say, after few sessions you will have the clear understanding, because
Okay.
right now I might not be able to kind of conclude.
Sure. Okay. Gotcha. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi,
Vikas.
Vikas.
This is
Please go
Because
ahead.
one question,
Yeah,
can
go
I go,
ahead,
Yeah.
please?
please.
Yeah, okay. So because like for example, if someone do not have prior knowledge to like maybe Java language and kind of thing, so
Yeah.
will we be able to understand the JavaScript and will be able to write code by ourselves after like going through with this course?
Yes, yes. So the reason being, as I mentioned, even the Java exposure experience, that is also not required. I will be covering few session, like 2 or 3 sessions on manual testing, right? After
Hmm.
that, the only thing which you need to have a clear understanding on Cypress when it comes to Cypress is, guys, the locator strategy. Okay, that's the very, very important topics when it comes to where, let's say, if you are doing the UI automation. So for a locator strategy, you will not find that difficult, because there are various supports and, you can say, various ways of identifying those locators over the web UI. So as far as syntax, as far as programming is concerned, you will not face that difficulties what usually have people have complained when it comes to Java. So Java, you need to have, let's say, a lot of, you can say, understanding with respect to syntax, inheritance, polymorphism, all those topics you need to have clear insight, right? But for Cypress, you will not feel, you can say, situation, because Cypress is having straightforward documentations, syntax and everything is defined in their official doc. What all things we need to do is we need to refer their official doc, make sure we are referring, or let's say following the same strategy, and then you need to kind of use that the whole things into your test cases or test suite. That's it, nothing else. So you will not feel that, I would say it will be very easy compared to what we have with, let's say, Java with Selenium.
Okay. Also, like the API automation which we will going through, will that be
Yes,
also covered with kind of CNI/CD, like automate
yes.
with the, or just only the API automation?
So basically, like as I mentioned, you should have good knowledge on Postman tool. If not, any which ways, I'll cover 2 sessions on Postman, wherein how to kind of do the Postman chaining, how to use script section of Postman, what all things is required from post script, pre-script, what is, you can consider Postman chaining, how to iterate the Postman collection for the various environment. If you got the complete overview on that, you will be able to kind of support for API also. So in Cypress, you will not feel like, because each and every block you will have the clear documentations, clear overview for API as well. Whether it is get, post, put, patch, delete, any of the API, you will have clear, let's say, understanding on those blocks, guys. Don't worry on
No, I
that.
mean my question was, will we like
Able to
implement the
integrate with
continuous
CI/CD?
integration with the
Yes.
API or not?
Will it be integrated with CI/CD or not? Right?
Yes, yes, for the
Yes,
API.
yes, obviously, yes, it will be. UI and API both will be getting integrated with CI/CD, even with the Cypress Cloud. Both, we are going to cover.
Okay, last question. Like for example, if maybe I mean we'll try to like cover like our own practice by ourselves, like whenever we have classes. So for example, if we need any kind of support, maybe after
Over.
post course,
Yes,
so will there be someone to help us out if we'll maybe stuck with something, or like because
yes,
learning and hand-on doing hand-on things will just like
different.
kind
Yes.
of, yeah, different. So will there be
So
any kind of support from
even, let's say, after session, after, like current session, if you're practicing, what usually I recommend is, whenever you are facing any error or some exceptions over, into your current project, let's say you're implementing into your current project also,
Mhm.
there will be complete support with respect to, like, but the thing is, you need to kind of share little bit detail with respect to, let's say, screenshot, or let's say whatever exceptions you are getting over WhatsApp or over email somewhere, so that we can connect over Google Meet one to one for that particular issue and make sure that is getting resolved. So there will be support after the course duration as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Hi, Vikas. Finally, I have got the opportunity to speak.
go ahead please.
Okay. So I just wanted to know, will you just be providing theoretical knowledge,
Mm,
or will you be also providing practical exercises which we can do it after a session, so that if we face any issues or queries, we can ask the next lecture?
uh, for each and every section, let's say if we are, let's say, doing the drop down session today, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever practice page you are aware about, or whatever practice page I am aware about, right? So I do have the complete list with me. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
wherein uh, obviously I will do couple of activity with respect to that. So at high level, just to give you quick overview, so I'm just showing you for reference, guys. So this is something, let's say CSS selector logic, right? So this is kind of, I did, let's say, demoed on this particular URL. Other than that, if I am having some different website, so we will have the practical implementation, as well as I'll be making sure that you guys are also, you can say, practicing by referring to the various URL which we have, right? So there are various URL which are available over the internet, correct? So I'll share that list to you as well as in the group, and I'll share the assignment as well, what all things you need to cover when it comes to, let's say, drop down topic. Okay, after that, let's say we move to some other topics of, let's say, handling alerts, right? So what are the
Mm-hmm.
different alerts which are available? Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
how we can handle those? Obviously, you guys also need to kind of practice the same. Okay, so that we will, on daily basis there will be assignment for sure, once we
Okay.
kind of start with the practical part. Okay, like around, it will
Okay.
take 3 to 4 session maximum after
Okay.
once manual testing is completed.
Okay. So from JavaScript, we would start getting assignments.
Perfect, perfect. From JavaScript, like introduction to JavaScript, over there
Mm-hmm.
itself, you will be kind of getting some basics assignment, how you can write a .js file and make sure that you are getting the correct output.
Okay, sure. And one more question before I go on mute. Do we need to have knowledge on HTML and CSS as well for Cypress?
Basic knowledge is required since we are going to use the locator strategy. What are the
Mm-hmm.
various tags such as div,
Mm-hmm.
LIDDTR, whatever tags are in the Chrome Dev Tool applications,
Mm-hmm.
right? How to
Mm-hmm.
read those. Obviously, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
covering that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, if it is there, then well and good. CSS, I won't say it is required, but yes,
Mm-hmm.
HTML, how to read the element, how we can identify the locator of that element. Okay, so that,
Mm-hmm.
for that reason, we will have some basic knowledge will be kind of very good if you have, for identifying the locator on the this thing, web pages.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Vikas. That's all.
yeah,
Yeah, because one
go ahead
thing,
please.
uh, in practical session, you are going to use any particular URL, particular web URL, or multiple sites you are going to
multiple
use?
multiple website. The reason is because um I might not get all the locators, like all the this
Okay.
thing, like topics in single URL. So I do have the
So,
list of all the URL which is kind of supporting. Yeah.
is it possible, or is there in your list, like Make My Trip, Amazon, Flipkart, these sites are you going to cover?
Yes, obviously, Amazon, eBay, whatever, wherever it is possible. Let's say if I want to perform, let's say, a scenario of, right, so that we can
Mhm.
do over, you can say, Flipkart or Amazon, correct? Sometime we need to work on, let's say, calendar, right? So that
Mhm.
I might do on, let's say, GoIBibo or Ease My Trip, those type of website, correct? Even SpiceJet. But when it comes to, let's say, static and dynamic drop downs, for that we do have some practice page which is already created. So the strategy will be same when it comes to real time application as well. So I would say there are obviously few website which we will be kind of using when, like, as and when we go to the, like, go ahead with the assignments and activities.
And last question, like
Go ahead.
when you are going to implement the framework, at
Mm-hmm.
that time, which site you are going to use or web application you are going to use? That time you will be use any one, right, for the
Yes.
framework
For
real
the
time. So
framework,
uh,
I would suggest, or I would consider, I mean, only like around 5 to 10 test cases, guys. Okay.
okay,
Because as you are aware, right, I might not be able to do, let's say, end-to-end testing on that, because that particular website will be open source and that will have limited functionality. That's the major reason. Okay. So we will be kind of focusing on around 10 to 12 test cases with 10 to 12 page object which is getting created, and obviously 10 to 12 locators files which will be getting created under, let's say, page object folder, and the mapping of those and how we can use it. Okay. Now,
so
obviously, you have real time URL with you for your
mhm.
application. Obviously, you can go ahead.
So in that framework, you will use all the data-driven testing, everything it will include, right?
Yes,
Whatever
yes,
10, 12 test cases you are saying. So everything
yes,
data-driven, command classes, everything you will use, right? Fix everything you will
yes.
use. The reusable
Uh,
things, everything, right?
Reading data from JSON, reading data from CSV, reading data from external file, TXT file, everything will be
Mhm.
getting used.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Vikas,
After after course completion, any certification provided?
Yes, it will be provided by Isha Solution.
Are we having the demo or we are just taking the question? Should
I'm
I
sorry, what?
to, are we just taking the question or are we going ahead with the demo?
Yeah, yeah.
One
Just
one last thing. From when like the course will be going to start from Monday onwards or like?
Monday onwards, the actual session might get started. So today, as well as tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we will have
Mhm.
the demo session, guys.
Okay.
I hello, hi Vikas, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just wanted, it's not a question, rather a suggestion. For example, if there is some prerequisite for a particular class, for example, basic knowledge of HTML or whatever, so on and so forth, whatever we discussed, can we get a list of what are the basics so that we can go back and maybe read or get that basic knowledge which is available maybe on the internet and then come back, which will be easier for us to catch up maybe?
Mm-hmm. Sure. That detail I'll provide you over the this thing, WhatsApp. So you guys can guide. Just check it out. Like, basic is required, not in detail. So I'll share that list as well.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, well.
And
Could
Okay.
you
Vikas,
please share all the
Hello.
syllabus detail?
Syllabus detail. I hope everyone has the link, guys. If you are not having the links, I'll share that link again in the group.
Yes, better share it.
Yeah, I'll
Thank you.
share that link again. Sure.
Vikas,
I have
one
one
thing.
question.
Mm-hmm.
You told like tomorrow also you are going to do demo class, right? Tomorrow and day after
Perfect.
tomorrow. So
Perfect.
same
Perfect.
you are going to repeat, or like today we have
No,
joined. So is it required to join tomorrow and day after tomorrow also, or only Monday onwards we have to start?
no, no, no. See, the reason for this will be a continuous demo, guys. It's not like I
Okay.
will be moving to the next topic. I won't be stuck. I won't be kind of talking about Cypress introduction or those things. I'll move to kind of Cypress installation and those setup, guys. Okay, so it's not like from Monday onwards there will be a fresh session. It is already already started. The only thing is making sure like everybody are aligned on the same page. That's the reason we are doing question and answer, so
Okay.
that everybody are kind of comfortable with the speed and everything. That's the only reason, guys.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Vikas.
Go ahead, please.
Will you give training on the database connectivity with Cypress?
Yes, we will be using SQL, you can say server, but only with a few tables. Okay, not like complete complex tables wherein I'll run some SQL queries, SQL queries. Will fetch the data from database by providing the JDBC connections detail and using the obviously the credentials what we have for that particular DB, and we'll try to make sure we'll put certain assertions on those records which is getting retrieved. So yes,
Okay.
we'll
Okay.
on that. Yeah.
Will the Kubernetes, Docker, CI/CD approach, everything will be covered as a part of this training?
Dockerization will be the last topic, but yes, CI/CD with Cypress Cloud will be covered. Even with let's say some other Jenkins, or if it is required, we will be covering that as well.
Okay. About
Okay.
the reporting part, what is the reporting you are?
Yeah, report are like the plugins which I mentioned. Some of the plugins are provided within the Cypress, right? So those are the which we are going to cover. And if there are several other plugins which is kind of supported in Cypress Cloud, those reports we will be getting after executions, wherein you can download those reports as well and provide to the respective stakeholders. Yeah. Um Okay, so just to give a quick insight and overview, guys, Cypress is why Cypress is getting popularized. The reason for that is it can test anything that runs on the web browser, guys. Okay, so just to give you clear insight, what is the major difference between Cypress and Selenium? Cypress is having its own browser. When I say own browser, all the URL or all the scripts whatever we are writing, it is actually running in real time browser. But when it comes to Selenium is actually interacting with the APIs, guys. Okay, so that's the reason Cypress is like you can consider 10x faster than the Selenium script. If Selenium script is taking 1 second, Cypress script will take obviously less than 1 upon 10 times of that particular duration, guys. Okay, it is an open source, and the documentations or whatever details we will be talking about, it will be from their official doc called as cypress.io, guys. Okay, how to use Cypress? We have a straightforward this thing. We'll have the setup, we'll do the installations, pack like module setup, everything. Once it is done, you will be getting the folder structure, and that folder structure will keep as it is till the end of the session. And we will have some definition for each folder structure, guys, and after that we'll run the test and we'll make sure we are able to debug those tests. Okay, when it comes to debug, you will get the error console, everything, wherein you will be at getting detailed error message why the tests are getting failed, guys. Supported browser, if you consider, these are the supported browser along with Canary browser as well. There are various other browsers. If I kind of go to their official website, you will be able to get the complete list of the browser. But the prerequisite is those browsers should be installed locally into your machine. Okay, so if you want to work with Brave, Edge, Firefox, Chrome, so those should be locally installed into your machine. And Electron browser is by default support which is provided by the Cypress, guys. Cypress is working by default with the Electron browser. So here is the UI, guys, how it looks like when it comes to browser support. So on the right hand side, you see the list of browsers. Okay, so the supported and the versions which are kind of getting support. So if you want to kind of run your test at the same time in two browsers, that is not possible in Cypress. That's coming under the drawback of Cypress. If you want to, let's say, parallelly execute your test case in Chrome and Edge, that is not possible, guys. Okay, at a time you will be able to run your test case in a single browser. Okay, please keep that in mind. Cypress is not having good support for iframe, guys. I hope you are aware about iframes. So that's another drawback what Cypress is having. Cypress is having not having good support for iframe. Okay, so one is like it is not having support for multi-browser at the same time. Second is it is not having good support for iframe. Now, why Cypress is getting popular? The major reasons, let us discuss about that. If you notice carefully, it is time travel, guys. What do you mean by time travel? Basically, we do not need to kind of provide some weights or something. It will automatically have default weight for the element to get visible, and Cypress will automatically act upon that. How actually real application works in real time with actual real user. Second is debugging, guys. Debugging is very straightforward. You will be able to see the detail error message when it comes to kind of debugging. You will be able to see the error in the console, error in the, you can say, stack overtrace. So those are the areas where you will see the detail error. You will be able to read it, and obviously you can kind of work around those error. Third is cross browser testing. Cross browser testing, when it comes at a time, you will be able to run your test case in various browser, but those will be sequentially, guys. It will not be parallel. Keep in mind. Next is consistent result, guys. Okay, so there is a concept of flaky test case in Cypress, guys. So flaky test case means having the logic of inconsistent result. If it is having the inconsistent result, or let's say if for if you are running your test case for 5 times, 3 time it is getting passed and 2 time it is not getting passed, so Cypress automatically will convert that test case into flaky test case, and it will not consider that as an actual test case. So we need to work around that flaky test case by providing some detail, you can say some different locators or something. And after running for, let's say, 10 to 15 times, that will be considered as normal test case, guys. Next is the videos and screenshot. We have very good feature in Cypress wherein you don't need to write up any code for, let's say, taking the screenshot or let's say taking the video. There is a file called cypress.config.js. You just need to provide one line over there. You will be automatically getting all the screenshots in case if your test case is getting failed. And even if you want to run your, let's say, get the videos, you will get .mp4 videos wherein you can just review what actually happened in the headless mode or let's say in the headed mode, guys. Okay, and the last is embedded workflows, guys. What is embedded workflows? You will have one centralized dashboard wherein you can view all the test cases which are part of your project, and as per your request, as per your need, you can kind of select those test cases over UI and run them, guys. Okay, so you have a better dashboard in terms of, you can consider Cypress runner. And also there is something called as Cypress Cloud, which is having better UI UX, and you will get a detailed report in terms of, you can say, complete end-to-end project. Okay, so that's the major Cypress features, and that's the major reason why people are kind of, let's say, moving for API as well as UI towards Cypress. Okay, what type of testing it is supporting? End to end, unit and integration. Okay, and the prerequisite is very simple, guys. You will require a Node.js. You will require, let's say, Mac or like whichever operating system, it is fine, guys. Okay, but very important, Node.js is prerequisite, it is mandatory. Okay, without Node.js you will not be able to work. Okay, and second, with respect to IDE, you will require the Visual Studio Code, right? So you it's very simple, you can kind of download from their official website. And other than that, I'll just quickly go through their official doc, guys. So this is their official page, guys, cypress.io. Okay, so it is already here is the UI, guys. You can see just now, this is the Cypress runner we usually called. So what is Cypress runner? On the left hand side you will see the command which we are going to run, and on the right hand side which all test case is getting executed at the same time the UI will be getting loaded at the same time if you are running in a headed mode, guys. Okay. So here on the left hand side, you see whenever you see something like green checks, right? So those steps are getting passed. And in case if you see like cross button, obviously there will be some exception. And your Cypress right now is working, or let's say running on like Chrome browser. And here is the viewport, guys, that is like you can say width and height of this particular screen. And this is a demo application usually which is provided by Cypress itself. And we have the access for this demo application as well. If you want, you can clone and start working on this demo app as well, guys. Okay. Other than that, here you will see some advantage of Cypress only, like test the modern app directly in browser, write your test in a minute, debug failure directly in browser. Basically open your Chrome dev tool and try to check what is the issue, whether locator is getting changed or something. Eliminate flaky test case with ease. So these are the integrate Cypress with any of the CI/CD provider. Okay, Jenkins, Circle CI, GitLab, GitHub. And over here, if you notice, these are the various advantage. Again, as I mentioned already, Cypress is having the logic of 10x faster, guys, comparatively compared to Selenium. Okay. And we will be talking about Cypress dashboard, guys. So in which Cypress cloud, basically you will have the complete detailed understanding how the UI is kind of managed. And this is their official you can say documentations, guys, wherein all the whatever you want with respect to command, everything is kind of mentioned in their official doc, guys. Okay. So if I want to search any of the command, guys, you will be able to kind of just search it over here, and you will be able to get the detail about that command. So just at high level, I am searching for one command called as visit, guys. Okay. So in Cypress we call it as cy.visit. So you will get the detail you can say understanding about how to use cy.visit, everything. And you will get some real time example as well on API, on UI, both, guys. Okay. So you will get all the commands details on the you can say in the on their official documentations, how to use them, like what are the commands, what are the attribute it is taking. You will get a complete detail of those as well, guys. Okay. And here you have the plugins, guys. So when I say plugins, basically what are different plugins which are kind of supported. So this is a long list, guys. You need to install this with the help of Node Package Manager. Okay. So I'll stop here, guys. I'll stop here. Obviously we'll continue our discussion tomorrow as well on this Cypress. So meanwhile, I request everyone to kind of share your name and like WhatsApp number if possible in the chat window. It would be helpful for like Isha team. So I would request everyone to kind of share your name and number, like the WhatsApp number, in the chat window. So just to give you overview, guys, today we had just discussed about the introduction, and obviously like how what are the prerequisites, and how what all things we are going to cover with respect to Cypress, and from UI side as well as API side. Okay. Anybody has anything to ask, query, questions, anything you would like to highlight, guys? If I'm
Yeah,
missing
I
out.
have a
So,
question. Like, I have a query. Post
Mhm.
the entire course, do we get any project for hands-on experience?
The one which I will be doing, you will get the Git repo for that particular project. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
whatever test case, let's say if I am correct, let's say creating around 10 test cases, I'll
Mm-hmm.
share around 20 to 25 test cases more. So you need to, let's say, update the same project with the changes. So you will get few URLs on which you can perform some hands-on experience for API as well as for UI both.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I would like to know, like, is there any other editor apart from Microsoft, like Visual Code?
You can use, but again, the setup and everything, it's you can use, let's say, IntelliJ, PyCharm, those are available. That's not a problem.
Okay.
You can use that as well. But
Okay. Yeah.
yes, from the UI UX side, that's I'll be kind of considering Visual Studio Code. The reason for that is readability and the usability. That's the major reason I will be
Okay.
using that particular editor.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vivek, one thing I missed actually that one flaky. You discussed about something flaky part, right? In Cypress, can you
Yeah,
just tell
flaky
me what?
test cases.
Yes.
Flaky test case means if you're running your test case, let's say 5 times, out of 5 times, it is running, let's say getting passed for 2 times, for 3 times it is getting failed. Correct? So that particular test case, Cypress will be considered as a flaky test case. So now Cypress will say you that, hey, please work on this test case, try to change some locators, try to change some features or some steps in this, and then it will again ask you to kind of rerun those test case. In case of running that again, let's say 5 times, and if it is getting passed for 5 times, that flaky test case will be kind of moving to non-flaky test case, like normal test case. So Cypress will show the list of flaky test case. If you are, let's say, using the version control, and if you are running the test case for, let's say, we will run our regression suite, right? So we will get the idea like what all test case are coming under flaky and what all test case are non-flaky. Usually the count will be less, guys. Don't worry on that. But yeah, the Cypress will automatically kind of identify those flaky test case. You don't need to write some external code or something for that.
Thank you.
What about
Yeah.
course fee?
What about course fees?
What about yes?
So I think course fees is already discussed over group. It was around 6,900. I'm not sure. I'll check that. That is a course fees which is published over the website as well, guys. Okay, I'll share the URL of this thing course again on the group, so you can just have a look on that.
How
Yes,
can we pay
thank you.
in US dollar?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How can I pay in US dollars?
Yeah, so that will be provided by team, guys, Isha teams. Don't worry on that.
Thank
Yeah.
That detail will be
Okay.
provided by Isha team.
Hello.
So my request, everyone to kind of, if possible, share your like name and WhatsApp number over the group before leaving the, sorry, before leaving the session, guys. Yeah, go ahead. Someone was asking something,
Yeah,
please.
yes, yes. Can we get the recorder section so for
Yeah,
education
recorded session,
reference?
like you will get a complete playlist for whatever. Let's say if I am covering 35 hours of training, that will be having lifetime access to your personal Gmail address. That Gmail ID you need to provide, and you will have the access on daily basis after next day actually. Like today, I am taking the session, so you will have the access to the next corresponding day.
Okay.
So because this is related to that time travel feature,
Mm-hmm.
so you told that I mean when we execute the script, it will wait until a particular element is visible, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in instances like I mean we can't see. I mean that actual element is not visible. So in those cases, how it will react?
Uh, Ideally, Cypress is having the automatic wait feature of, let's say, 6 second. Okay, sorry, 4 second. You can configure that to 10 second, whatever you think about your project if it is slow. Okay, so usually whenever that is a case, it will obviously wait for that particular duration till it identify that web element. Or let's say if it is not working, since I told you that we will be working on a very important topic called as CSS selector. Okay, if it is not able to identify the locators which you have provided, then we might need to update or let's say modify the locator which we are using in our test case.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here we have to
Hi,
send
Vikas.
a name and mobile number, right? Email ID also is required.
No, just name and mobile number. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, somebody was asking something.
Yeah, for tomorrow's session, do we need to join with the same link?
Yeah, tomorrow also the session will be on same link, guys. Okay. If there is a change
Thank you.
in this anything, you will get update over group. But 99% it will be on same link, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.